Just what were your thoughts? I mean, they kind of had a lot of momentum there at the end, but defense came up big. And you guys were able to respond.
All glory to God. This is a great atmosphere, a great game, back and forth. We knew we had a lot of even matches in this game, and for our kids to come out and prevail, be able to practice over Thanksgiving week, I'm definitely thankful for that.
Yeah, the fact that everyone wants to be playing beyond Thanksgiving. Just how does that feel to be 3 rounds into this thing?
Yeah, I mean, what a blessing! What a great joy to be able to spend this extra week, this week off from school, but to be able to spend it with the guys, preparing to play and do the game we love another week.
You fell behind early, but, just how good was it to have a lead there earlier in the first half for once?
Yeah, it seems like it's been a while since we did that, but, our kids played really well, and they respond, and we talked about, basically chipping away at a rock and keep pounding the rock, and eventually good things will happen, and it did. And so for us to be able to have a few drives there in the first half where we were able to put some points on the board and get a lead at halftime, obviously it turned out huge.
Yeah, Did you feel like the offense maybe was clicking maybe as good as it had been in that first half?
Definitely. In fact, we talked about it a little bit at halftime because it's hard to adjust at halftime when things are clicking because you don't really need to adjust anything, but you know that they're going to adjust something. And so it's sort of a guessing game to figure out what are they going to try to do to stop what you've been successful with and how would we counter that. And obviously in the second half it was a really tough game and they chewed up a bunch of the clock. But we held on.
Yeah, what was your message when y'all got the 4th down stop and you had the long drive to get up 2 scores with the offense? Because things had kind of gotten a little stagnant for you guys.
My message when we get the ball deep into our own territory, in that case, is that we had a 91-yard opportunity. I think it was 91 yards that we had a chance to go and put a statement on the game, to put an exclamation mark on what we had been doing. I love it. I love having those chances to really go down and take some time off the clock, but grind on a defense, and our kids responded really well to do that.
Tony's a guy that you guys have turned to at running back in kind of some pivotal moments. Just how big has his emergence been in that particular role?
So he's a hammerhead. He's a hard runner. He'll stick his head up inside or get around the outside, but he's also hungry. And he has a good knowledge of the offense. He's played some running back in the past. And so for us to have that change up, I think is really, really good. Obviously, he's productive and effective when he goes back there.
Coach, awesome balance tonight, both on offense, running and throwing the ball, but also just whoever made a play. It seemed like Peyton Cashin made plays early, then it was Brooks DeWitt, then Jackson Verdugo, Tony Hamilton, already mentioned him, but also Aiden Martinez-Brown. How does game playing to have that balance? What is the satisfaction seeing it executed on the field?
So we want to be multidimensional. It's great to have a talented player, but obviously defenses are going to clue in on the one guy they need to stop. And so if we're able to move the ball, spread the ball around to a lot of different guys who can be dangerous and effective. And by dangerous, I don't even necessarily mean 70-yard runs. They just make plays and get first downs and keep the ball moving. And several of those guys you mentioned, came off the bench or came into the game, and we're rotating guys around, which I think helps keep us fresh and engaged, not only in the game, but also throughout practice, because lots of guys are going to get some opportunities to go out there, and nobody knows when their opportunity is going to happen. So be ready, play like a starter when you're in there, because when you're in there, you are the starter. You're the guy we need right there in that moment.
Jumped out to a quick 20-3 lead, saw it kind of get whittled down, but the defense standing firm and giving your offense time to really figure it out there at the end. What does it say about that defense that it's just like seems everybody's making a play? Chance Johnson, 3 sacks tonight. Jackson Edwards, big sack. Great coverage all throughout the secondary. Just what does that kind of defensive effort show you?
I would be very interested if some teams we played would tell us how they want a game plan against our defense, because we have a lot of guys who are very capable of making huge plays, of being great cover guys or great rush guys or great run support guys, and it's across the board. And so if you want to avoid Chance, well, that's okay. Corbin's over here. Or if you want to avoid Tony, well, AJ's over here, or Harry's over here. All these guys you're mentioning, Jackson, they're doing a really good job of keeping guys engaged and making it hard for an offense to really know how to pick on the defense.
You guys are going to be playing Georgetown next week. Not sure if you knew that yet, but knowing that y'all didn't put your best foot forward against them the first time, I guess, are you looking forward to getting another shot at them?
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, I think it says a lot for our district for us to both be playing at this point. I hope we play more like we did in the second half of that game and less like we did in the first half. But they're a dangerous team. They're a talented and powerful and athletic team on both sides of the ball. And at the same time, if you look back at our schedule and saw kind of where we were then and where we've come, and I think that second half of that game, despite coming up short, really was an eye-opener for a lot of our kids that we can do this. We're capable. We have athletes. We're all right. And we can be talented and dangerous and successful on our own right. And so I think that helped propel us into a game against Consol and some playoff wins and all that to help guys find their identity with where we are.
One last question, Coach. 10 wins in your debut season. How's it feel?
It's fantastic. I talked to the kids this week about two things that I think are really big markers of great seasons, and 10 wins is one of them. When you look at different teams and their history and you think, hey, consecutive or regular 10-win seasons, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Obviously, we'd like to get several more of those, and also playing into Thanksgiving. I mean, that's a special opportunity for the kids. It's a great time for us to have fun as a group of guys, as brothers, and enjoy a pregame brotherhood meal on Thanksgiving Day. It's just a really special thing that lots of teams in the state don't get to enjoy. So I'm really thankful for that. And then, of course, the next thing that marks a really great season is to play into December. So our goal next week will be to get to play into December, and then we'll go 1-0 1 week at a time.
Congratulations.